Hello, today I'm going to talk about Somos lo que hablamos by Rojas. I'm going to talk about the chapter 7, which is the one that talks about introspection. So, the meaning of the word introspection basically is the act of talking to yourself. And for example, when you're walking in the street, you're thinking of many things, all your thoughts or your feelings, all the things that you have done comes to your mind. That's introspection, because you're having a conversation with yourself and you don't need anyone to talk with you because you're talking with you. You're having a communication with you. So that's introspection. And the act of introspection is not something that you plan. It's not something planned, because you don't do like, I'm gonna do introspection. That's not the way you do it. For example, I talk to myself every time. And it's something really funny because you get to know yourself better. You didn't know things about you that you do every time, but you don't notice that you do it, that you think it. So it's crazy, and I like to talk to myself every time. And you don't plan it, it's something automatically. So it's interesting because when we do introspection, that becomes like a monologue or a private speech. So when we do private speeches, those private speeches have two connotations: the negative connotation and the positive connotation. The negative connotation is when we use pronouns. In both we use pronouns. For example, in the negative we use the second person pronoun you. When we're talking about in something negative that happened to you or that someone said to you, you said, you're ugly, you're fat, you can't do it, you're doing bad. You are always talking to you like an order, like an imperative, which is not good because it's a damage. And when we talk about positive connotation, we talk about the pronoun in first person, I. So when I want to say something, I was gonna say an example. For example, I'm the best, I'm better than you, I'm amazing, that is related to self-esteem. And it's crazy because you don't care about these topics, but when you realize and when you read about this, you get to know things like you didn't know it and you're doing it automatically. So that is related to self-esteem. When we talk about negative connotation, we talk about a lower self-esteem. And when we talk about the positive connotation, we talk about a high self-esteem. For example, well, that's it. It's related to self-esteem, and we don't have to compare ourselves, because it's something like we're always watching the things that the people is doing, and we don't care about ourselves, but what the people is doing. Like, we're always watching what they are doing, maybe not to copy, but to say, oh, he's falling, or oh, he's winning, she's winning, she's being successful, he's frustrated because he's about whatever he's, like, we're always watching, but we don't watch ourselves. In my case, I think it is bad to compare ourselves, but sometimes because we have to compare us to ourselves. Yeah, like, we don't have to compare ourselves with anyone, because it's another world. It's your world, you're a different person than me, and I can't do the things that you have done. I can think like you, I can't do all the things that you have done. I mean, it's crazy because it's crazy. Okay, so basically all the chapter talk about that, about self-esteem, about the introspection, and the how it is this useful to our lives, because we don't care about those topics sometimes, but it's really important, because we as human beings, we we are ignoring those things, and that's essential to or development, or yeah. So that's it, like all the content of the chapter. In my perspective, I think that the chapter makes me read more. Like, I read the chapter and I wanted to read more, and it was crazy because I was reading more, and I was like, no, dude, I had to read the chapter 7, but I continue reading because it's interesting, and I really like it. It's topics that we're not usual to speak with something. We don't talk about introspection with anyone. We talk about everything, but not for introspection and self-esteem sometimes. So are topics that we have to talk about more, and it is important because it's our mental health and the things we have in our minds. And what is better, that you don't have to talk with someone about introspection. You can do it by yourself, yeah. And that's mostly the better thing. For example, as I was saying, I tend to talk to myself every time, and it's really funny. I have to say that sometimes I say bad things to myself, but it's not. It's joking. It's just kidding. I say just kidding, but that makes us feel alive. That makes our self-esteem gets better. We get stronger. We deserve more than just bad words, and yeah, the conversation with yourself is really important, because you're getting to know yourself better. Sometimes I talk to myself every time, and it's like, okay, what am I doing? Like, it is also useful to analyze you, because I'm sometimes, when I fight with my friends, I talk to myself and I say, what is this? What is wrong with me? What are the things that I'm doing wrong to to make to make them feel bad, or make make them feeling bad? So that's really cool, because you analyze your attitudes, and all the things that you have done. So I really like the the chapter. I recommend it to you because it's cool. It's amazing. It's another world. And as I said, you don't think about these things because maybe you think are boring or whatever, but it's really important. It's essential. So that was like my opinion. I really like it. I'm gonna read all the book. It's fantastic. I love it. And talks about topics that are important for the life, not just for a class. It's for the life. So thank you for listening to me. I appreciate you, and thank you. Bye.